Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm Scott Solkoff from Elder Law College, and today we're going to be going over incapacity and the elder law practice. Really a bit of a misnomer because it's for anybody that's dealing with estate planning issues or elder law issues. And we'll get right into it. And I want to add that along the way, this presentation certainly lends itself to your asking questions and making comments throughout. So use your Q&A function to post questions or comments as we go. And I'll get to them as we go as soon as I can, as soon as I reach a natural break. So let's do it that way. It'll be a lot more interesting than just listening to Scott Solkoff the whole time. So there's two sides of incapacity that we're going to be talking about today. One is dealing with it, and the other is planning for it. So by dealing with it, we simply mean assessing capacity. We weren't really trained to do that in law school, were we? But there are methods. There are some standards of practice that we can talk about, and some not so standards of practice, but really great tips and treasures that we can discuss. And then how we interact with the client, interacting with the client of marginal capacity, and remedies, how we deal with incapacity. And that really folds into planning. Planning for incapacity is, of course, when you have a competent, capable person planning ahead so that when that person does become incapacitated, mentally incapacitated, that there should be some protections in place. And I also, before we really dig into it, want to cover one other threshold issue. And for those of you who practice elder law frequently or deal with the elderly on a regular basis, you know that incapacity is never black and white. Capacity itself is a continuum, right? So that we have people who can be somewhat competent and somewhat capable, or very capable in certain areas and completely incapable of other areas in other areas. And so we want to be able to mark that. And we'll talk a lot about that today too, finding the client where they are when they come to you. So when we look at guidance from the bar, we can look at the ABA model code, which talks about assessing capacity. And I would say that the tests for legal capacity given to us by the ABA model code are not very helpful. It's largely written by trial lawyers, not lawyers who are dealing with incapacitated or marginally incapacitated people all the time in their practice. And so we have to dig deeper. Here's an example of what you'll find in the ABA model code in your state bar rules.